Hey Greg, let's talk bourbon. Specifically, let's talk this bourbon. Old Forester Single Barrel Strength. Now, this has always been, I consider this to be one of my favorite bottles. And, it's just been, if you would ask me, is this, my top 5 bottles? Probably not going to be in the top 5. Top 10, very possibly, but definitely in my top 20. As you can see, I really haven't drank that much of it. But what I have had of it has been great. Kind of a dark caramel, cinnamon, a little bit of red fruit. I've always really enjoyed this bottle. So why are we talking about this bottle today? Well, all right, so I was on YouTube this weekend and going through different, YouTube videos on whiskey, and I see one by Matt at ADHD. And he trashed this bottle. I couldn't believe it. So he was doing a video, apparently it was from 3 years ago, but I hadn't seen it before. Anyway, this video was about the 5 bottles to not buy. So he picked this bottle, and he said that this bottle was too proofy and didn't have enough flavor. Okay. I don't think I've ever blinded this bottle before. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I am going to put this in a 6-way blind. Now, up against it, now I have in my collection, I've got 19 bottles that are either single barrels or barrel proof. Had to figure out which bottles to include on this. So, talked to my brother Greg. He says, asked him what one bottle he would like. He said he came up with 2 bottles. He wanted the Peerless single barrel and the Bardstown single barrel. And the Bardstown single barrel is bottled at 120 proof. By the way, since we're talking proof, and Matt thought this was too proofy, this is 127.5 proof. So this is 120 proof. This is 111 proof. All right, I decided I wanted to put in the Angel's Envy. The reason why? Because I've never really been all that thrilled with this bottle. This is a pick from Justin's House of Bourbon, and I don't know, I just haven't been impressed with it. It's only 110, so it is the lightweight here, but I figure I'm kind of sandbagging it here. Everything, in particular this bottle here, better beat this bottle. I'm expecting this one to finish last, but if one of them finishes below this, well, that'll tell me something. All right, so then I also wanted to make sure that we had something that was at least as proofy as this bottle for comparison. So I also put in the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. This is 127.8 proof. And then also this is a relatively proofy bottle here. We got the Larceny barrel proof at 124.4. So here we go. I'm going to do a blind. We're going to find out how Old Forester does in terms of, is it too proofy and does it not have enough flavor, right? So let's put the bottles aside. This one happens to be number 1. I got to keep these in order. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These glasses have already been mixed up. So they have numbers on the bottoms of them that I can't see until I pick up the glasses. Can't see it through the glass. So here we go. We'll call it Glass A. Very fruity. Very fruity. Red fruit. Almost could be considered a grape, actually. And then it's got cinnamon and nutmeg. Very nice. Now let's just do the nose first. That's my impression of A. B. Wow, this one's also wonderful. Fruity, but it's a little different. It has just a touch of cinnamon. It doesn't have the nutmeg that this one does. Meanwhile, it has a little bit of confectionery sugar on the top. So it's a little sweeter, a little lighter. All right, Glass C. This one's a little darker. Peppery. Yeah. has just a hint of fruit, but has a darker caramel, maybe into a molasses even. Nutmeg, a rather nuttiness to it. Could even say it goes into a hazelnut. Class D. So this one's also very distinctive. This one's more of a melony nose, or a pear with some cinnamon and sugar. Little citric note to it as well. It's really interesting, different than the first three. Letter E. Also another great nose. This is gonna be tough, man. So far, this is 5 for 5. They all have great noses. They're all different. This one's more back down the line of the nutmeg. Maybe getting into the hazelnut. Yeah, it's very nutty. It's got a little bit of maltiness to it as well. You know, there's even maybe a hint of leatheriness to this one. Just a hint. All right, class F. This probably has the weakest nose of the 6. Unless my nose is just getting worn out going down the line here. But there's cinnamon. And there's a white fruit. Green fruit, whatever you want to call it, right? Like a apple or grape. Green grape. With the cinnamon, very light, light caramel, maybe a vanilla. Yeah, I think I'd rather call it a vanilla. This is probably the lightest of them. All right. This is going to be tough. I can tell you that right now. Here we go. Because these are all, price range-wise, 60 to 125. So we got some bangers in this bunch. The Old Forester that we're concerned about here today, I believe, if I recall, I think I got that for like 89, 85, something around there. Tasty. By the way, that's my first sip of the day. Gotta take a sip of water. All of these are a little on the proofy side, so first sip of the day, it kind of smacks me a little bit. Very tasty, though. Not a ton coming through, though. We got a little bit of the fruit. I have it's more oakiness, and then some cinnamon, some nutmeg, but I hate to say it, but I think the oakiness comes through more than anything on this one. Class B. This one's delicious compared to that one. Oh, and that allspice finish is really starting to kick in. This is real tasty. It's got the red fruit up front, but cinnamon, hazelnut, maybe not hazelnut so much, but certainly nutmeg. And on into that allspice finish. On the front end, It did have a lot of caramel. Um, but I will say that allspice finish comes quick. And so, the front end of the palate was kind of short on this taste, whereas the back of the palate was very long. Let her see. Not as flavorful as B. Ooh. Ooh. This one's quite oaky. I mean, yes, there's some cinnamon there. There's some caramel there. But then it starts getting into the allspice, and then it just really has a real sense of oak, and it's dry. Oh, it's very dry. As compared to the first two, right? And even a touch bitter. Even a touch bitter. So, I don't know. That one's not doing so well. Letter D. This one's a lot lighter. Fruit. Caramel. Maybe a touch vanilla. Kind of got a little bit of an allspice finish, but not heavy. This is a very pleasant drink. Boy, this is just so good on the nose. I want to know which one this is. This is... I'm sorry. I laugh because there are aspects of this that kind of remind me of Buffalo Trace products. But I don't have any Buffalo Trace products here. So, this is very caramel, vanilla, confectionery sugar on top, with a little bit of maltiness and a little bit of fruitiness. Just the fruitiness is a little subdued. Wow. Now the palate isn't quite as good as the nose. But it's very tasty. Although there is a fair amount of oakiness on the finish. So while it starts out sweet with the caramels and vanillas, then it gets nutty into like a nutmeg, or a hazelnut kind of a flavor. And then the oak, a little bit of allspice, but the oak, I think the oak is more predominant there on the finish. And it's a little dry, but it's not terrible. It's not overwhelming. It's not bitter. That's a good glass. All right. Letter F. A little maltiness to this one as well. Oh yeah. This is the one I thought was on the nose, was very light. It's also very light in the palate too. Sweet. It's like vanilla drizzled on pears. Now I'm starting to get an allspice type of finish on the second sip, but not too heavy. Definitely some cinnamon in there. Yeah. All right. So, first impression going through this once all the way through. I can't remember which one it was. Was it B or C that I didn't like as much? But other than that, I didn't really notice an appreciable difference between any of them in terms of proof at this point. Which is interesting to me because, you know, this Jack Daniel's usually comes out as really proofy. But to be honest with you, I didn't really get overwhelmed at all by any of these. None of them really stuck out in terms of being really proofy. So that's one of the things I was looking for here. You know, the other thing I was looking for here is, you know, will we have ones here? Is there a couple of bottles here, or you know, that are a little lacking in flavor, and perhaps would the Old Forester fall in that category? So we'll have to see. This next time around here, I'm gonna try to bounce around here and try to figure out which one's first out. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't remember if it was B or C that was the one that I was not enjoying as much. I gotta find that one. No, B is the one who has the stronger on the palate and quite tasty. B is the strong one. Strong competitor there. Yeah. Yeah, C is the one that has that bitter oak. Ooh, it's actually, you know, you don't necessarily get it on the first sip, but the second sip, it really kind of starts to kick in. Third sip. Yeah, it really kind of grabs you on the outside of the tongue, wrapping back into the back palate. Yeah, I'm just going to go now. Letter C is my first out. Letter D is a little weak. Okay. D is on the chopping block. It's not bad. Whatever this is, this would be a pleasant drink to have. C is the only one that I thought of had something that I just didn't really care for in it. This letter D, I don't know if you can see the numbers when I drink. I don't know if my camera's good enough for that or not. But, I mean, I got to pick on something, right? They're all good in their own way. These remaining 5 are all good in their own way. But I'm going to have to pick on letter D here for being weaker on the palate. Letter D is out. All right. Let's do this. Oh, man. That's a good... I have my theory. This one really stands out the strongest. It seems to have the strongest nose, the strongest palate. I hate to say it, but I think this is Jack Daniels. I would be pleasantly surprised if it's something else. Not that I don't like my Jack Daniels. I love my Jack Daniels. I've just had the Jack Daniels in blinds before, and it's always come out as the strongest palate on in the blind. So this one here is light and sweet. I have a theory about that one. I think I might know which one it is. Which will mean I'm wrong, right? But light and sweet makes me think it's Peerless. And this one. Oh, there's just something about this that kind of reminds me of, it's got the corn, but it's also got the rye. This one definitely tastes to me like it's got a healthy amount of rye in it. This is so good. And then I'm going to say that if this one is not the Peerless, then this one's got to be the Peerless. These are both lighter and sweeter than the rest of the group. Now, I will tell you, I don't think I could pick out the Bardstown in this list. I mean, if you look, all I've drank of the Bardstown, all I had was the neck port before. So I really couldn't tell you what this tastes like. And when I had that, I mean, I brought this home from, this Bardstown here. Gonna give myself a little break. Tell you a tiny little story here. This bottle, the single barrel Bardstown, it's only available, or at least this bottle was, only available at Bardstown downtown Louisville location, right? It's the only place you could get it. We stopped there, I don't know, Greg and I, while we were running through Louisville and doing our Bourbon tour, man, I bought this one in Disco 11 that day. Oh, 2 really good bottles. But like I said, to be honest with you, I couldn't tell you what it tastes like because it's been so long. I bought this, I think, in May, and I think I've only had the one pour out of it, so it could be any of these. Wow. See, I needed that little break. Kind of let my palate adjust here for a minute. You know what I didn't do? I didn't bring out any cheese. How do I pick? Okay, well, it's not this one. This, right now, at least where it stands right now, B is so far running as my favorite. All right, I'm just nitpicking here, but I'm going to go E out next. Got to do something here. It's a fantastic drink. It is. It's a like I said, the only one that I really tasted anything that I kind of questioned was this letter C. These other 5 are fantastic. So I'm just like, picking at little imperfections to try to come up with a difference. Okay. New strategy. For these 3, I'm going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to take 3 sips of each, kind of let them, instead of jumping quickly, I'm going to let them actually have a chance to really show me what they're like in the back of the palate. This one's just lovely through and through. I'm really impressed with B. I can already tell you that's the winner. These 2 are so close. All right. I can't. These 2 are out next. It's a tie. Sorry. I can't do it. And B is the winner. All right. So those are my picks. Moment of truth. Again, Old Forester was 1. Oh, I can't get him in the screen, can I? There we go. Bardstown is 2. Peerless 3. Angel Zombie 4. Jack 5. And Larceny 6. All right. In last place. Number 4. Ha! What did I tell you? I told you that I was not impressed with this bottle. Angel's Envy, single barrel. 4th place. It's the one that, the only one in the group that there was something about it. It kind of got to a bitter oak finish. I'm just not really impressed with this. And, I put this in here to see if I could trip something up, and I did not. So, and I did, meanwhile, at the same time here, I've confirmed that this just ain't that great. Now, this is a barrel pick from Justin's House of Bourbon. Downtown Louisville. That's where I bought it. You would hope that Justin's House of Bourbon, that they know what they're doing, right? They're famous. And they know how to pick barrels. But I'm telling you, I'm just not impressed with this one. I don't know if it's indicative of all barrel picks from Angel's Envy or just this one. I have no idea. All right. Second to last place. Oh my God. Old Forester. All right. I'm going to address Matt over at ADHD. He will probably never see this and probably won't know anything about it. But if by some miracle, Matt, you actually happen to see my video here, I would love it if you'd leave me a comment. I got to tell you, Matt, you got some pretty darn good taste buds there, which of course everybody already knows. But I'm just confirming that. Yeah, you know what? While I thought that all 5 of these, well, I didn't like this one as much, right? Covered that. But I thought all 5 of these were good, and they are good. The fact is that the Old Forester this is the one I put out because it didn't have as much flavor as the rest. And that is one of the criticisms you had. You nailed it. Matt nailed it. He did. Got to give it to him. All right. Third to last place, fourth place, is number 5. Holy shit. Really? See, I got it wrong. Got it wrong. Number 5, Jack Daniels. All right, number 5 is the bottle, but it's in 4th place. Jack Daniels, single barrel, barrel proof. I mean, it's good. It's very good. But, wow. Like I said, in previous blinds with this bottle, now granted I haven't had that many blinds, right? You can see it's still near the top. But previous blinds with this bottle is that this bottle dominated simply because it was the strongest. It did not dominate here. And it didn't come across as the strongest, because I got to tell you, none of these felt overly proofy. Nor did any of these feel underly proofy. So, take it for what it's worth. And anyways, Jack Daniels single barrel proof goes out in 4th. That's a surprise to me. That shocks me. It really does. Okay. Now, Glass A and Glass F, I just finally called it a tie because I couldn't figure out the difference between them. I mean, they're a little different. Don't get me wrong, but I couldn't pick one over the other. So, those are number 3 and number 6. So remember I said that I thought this was Peerless, but if this wasn't Peerless, then this was Peerless? Well, all right, this one's Peerless. And number 6, well, that's Larceny. So I was unable to choose between Peerless Single Barrel and Larceny Barrel Proof. Now, what's interesting to me about this is that Larceny Barrel Proof is a $60 bottle. And Peerless Single Barrel, I got this at Peerless in Louisville for $125. So, 60, 125, I couldn't pick the difference between them. I don't know. And look at who's left behind. Remember I said that all I've had out of this bottle was the neck pour. That's all I've had out of it. I couldn't tell you what it tastes like. Well, that was Glass B. Yes, number 2. Wow, I'm telling you, this is so freaking good. Oh my God. I knew from the nose, first time around, that this Glass B was the best glass. This is absolutely fantastic. Okay. I am telling you out there, everybody out there, that if you need to get down to Louisville's downtown, Bardstown's downtown Louisville location, because that's what this was. This was is an exclusive for that location. holy smokes, is this good? Wow. It wasn't even close. This bottle was significantly better than the rest of the bottles sitting here. Significantly better. Now, it was also, if I recall, $125. But, hey, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And there you have it. So we learned that Old Forester, maybe Old Forester single barrel proof, maybe it's not as good as I thought. Maybe it's not. But I also learned that Bardstown single barrel is amazing. All right. Well, that will do it. I hope you learned something, Greg. Have a good one. Peace out.